Hi and welcome back to the Skin Clinic, and this is our new home, Sunday at 11:30, one upload a week now. We're getting near to almost completion of all of the information. He says there's a lot to go, but we're going to change it up to a Sunday at 11:30 from now on, so there's a video every day on this channel at 11:30, including our Tier 10 to Prem with Mausel AFC, who are in the Premier League and on the verge of Champions League as well. So without any further ado, let's go and do the third part of the player profile. Let's go in. Yes, so we left you last time with... We've done all the information on the left side, we've done all the information on the boxes on the middle. Now in the top section here, we've got all this information to go through, and this will be the third part today. So yes, so as we know already, we've got the attributes across the top. Here's the first one, which we've already been through on a previous video. Now the next box across, personal information. Click into here and it gives you again, it's an overview of all the other bits and pieces. We've already got the information here, so it's a similar sort of thing to that. So it's got his full name, his description, his personality, his favoured clubs, reputation, his agent. I've also got his media handling style, favourite personnel, thank you Will, past playing experience. So if we've got anyone who's, has it got anybody who's got anything here? No, maybe not, but this is a good one. We'll leave it on Tordia, because on his we've got a bit more information there. And as we were saying, so it comes down through here. So he's based in England currently. We've also got a promise there for him. So in fact, let's go back to Will Ross first of all. So we can see sometimes you've got to click back and click in again to get the full details, but going across, as we were saying, nationality and eligibility. So nationality tells you how many caps he's got. He's eligible for Wales and for England. Spoken language, so he can speak English and a bit of Welsh. He is Welsh. And then down below that is another bit of information for your personal stuff. So promises, there's one promise. Play youth players, it's in progress. His morale, his training, so it says there that he's happy with his training. Treatment, his club, so he's happy at the club. The management, playing time, and overall happiness. So he's extremely happy at the club. We can lead from that, so that's great news. Eligibility. This is quite a big one, because quite often when you finally make it to European football, or maybe you're already at a club that's with European football, we know the rules about having so many players who are eligible for your club via trained at club, trained in the nation. So we can see here, trained. So he's trained in Nation of England, so that's great news. Trained at the club. So he's actually been trained at Truro City as well, so that's great news for us. So if we ever got to European football and he was still at the club, he would be one of our eligible players to say that he's been trained at this club, so it's great news. He would go towards that quota. So if we click down maybe to another player, we can see that he hasn't got that information. So he would be, he's trained in England which is good news, but he isn't trained at club. So I hope that sort of gives you a bit of an insight into that. Now, where was Tory? As we can see here, down below here, because he's a foreign player, and we obviously maybe would like him to become a national at this club, then he adds again to the nationality, trained in the club, trained in nation, and that sort of business. But you've got to do a total of 1,825 days. So in reality, you need to get some 16, 17, 18-year-old players that you can do this with. A 28-year-old, maybe not going to cut the mustard, but you can see there that he's been here for 43 days so far. And you can see there, look. But obviously he's not trained in this club, so he would go down as a foreign player for us if we ever got to European football. Happiness. So this one is quite a good indicator of what's going on with this player. In fact, we'll go back to... he'll do. So Josh Thomas. We'll find someone in a minute who's not happy. Bound to be somebody. So plans, short-term plans, he's got none, no plans for the future. Long-term, none for the future. This one's currently got no negatives. His happiness, he's perfect. Management, he's very close to the manager. Holds you in the highest of regards. So he's pleased to have joined and played for James PRIISEK. Thank you, Josh Thomas. Feels that Luke Dreyer is an influential player in the dressing room. Feels he's got a good partnership in attack with Will Russ. Content with the training overall. So you got all these sorts of information there. Feels the club is in a league position. There's a lot to do with James PRIISEK's influence. This lad is quality, isn't he? Now, Josh Benson. This lad expects to play in the game against Watford and is concerned about the amount of first team football he has been playing. So this lad hasn't played a lot of football and long term would prefer not to play for Burnley. So if he ever made a move, he wouldn't want to go to Burnley. Is that because he's got a history? Yes. He's been at Burnley before. He wouldn't want to go back. That's fair enough. Was it Tory? Yes. So Tory, as we can see, has got a negative here. And he's also got a lot of things in his long-term plans. Teams he'd rather not play for. Ideal. Another one that he wants to play in this game. Okay. Negatives. Disappointed at the lack of effort made to strengthen the squad in goal. Now, he's a goalkeeper. We signed him to strengthen our goalkeeping area, and he's moaning that we haven't strengthened anybody. I don't get players sometimes. Football Manager, eat your heart out. It's a strange one. But this is your happiness. So it's quite a good one as well to come in just to see a bit of overview on other things that you won't see in other areas of the skin, just to help you out. Quick chat. You can also go in there. So it gives you a recommendation that your assistant manager says, I recommend talking to Tory about praise of his development. So in here you can say, it says there, praise develop, praise his conduct. You've got the advice there, recommend staff, recommend signing. You can warn the player, criticise his training, criticise his conduct. So again, lots of information there to put in. So if we actually do praise his training and development, so you can put an arm around him, pat him on the shoulder, shake his hand. So I think we'll do a handshake. He's encouraged by that, and say he's been training really well of late. So that's gone in there now, and he was happy. And now that option is now gone from here, so you wouldn't be able to do anything else with that option because you've already done that. But it just shows you a great bit of information. He's happy. It's boosted his morale. Great news. Contract. So here we can see that it tells you the club he's signed for. Depending, you could be going to a different club and looking at this screen. You can look at all this information with other players. Obviously, quick chat is slightly different if you're at a player from a different club. He's on a full-time contract. Tells you his weekly wage. Tells you actually how much wages he gets after tax. When the contract started. When it expires. Squad status. How much of the wage this lad is using of our squad money. So he's actually taking home 7.6% of our wages. He's on £7 a week. But we're in the championship, so it should be on more than that, really. But we haven't got a lot of money down at Truro. That's the problem. Bonuses. So he gets a clean sheet bonus. £1,300 for every time he keeps a clean sheet. Avoid relegation from the championship. So if we avoid it, we've got to give him £15,500. I'll happily do that if that happens. Thank you. Clauses. A top division wage rise for promotion, 20%. Sell-on fee, 10%. So if we sell him, he gets 10% of the money. Transfer status. This one does need actually a little bit of work for the next version. We do seem to be a bit squashed in here, but that's not too much of a problem at the minute. So we can see transfer information provided by his agent. He's at Truro City. There's his value. There's no asking price, but he is listed for loan currently. Clubs interested. No clubs. Right, so let's find someone in the squad who's actually got somebody interested. There we go. So recent offers, interest. So there's high interest from Bristol Rovers and Lincoln among clubs. So we can see there's major interest from them too, and no minors. Is there anyone else that we've got? Adam Lewis. So we can see that Middlesbrough are interested, and they would like, but they're restricted to the release clause in his contract. So £1.6 million asking price for this lad, but they're estimated they would set it around £528,000. No, not a chance. So actually it's just a minor interest from that club. And then we can see our transfer status. So here you could list him for transfer, list him for loan. When a transfer offer is received, so you can put in accept all loans, accept all transfers, and then reject and all that sort of thing as well. So all in there, all available to you. You can also set an asking price. So here's his current value. You can then put in any particular value you want, use the plus and minus, and then confirm as well. So that's a good one for transfer information. Stats. This is great. This is one of the big pluses for this skin. I absolutely love this screen. Gives you a load of information on different player, how he gets on. So matches won, 5 of 8 he's won. Man of the matches, he's had 1 man of the match. You can see that he scored 1 goal. Average rating, so best and worst games, look, he's had an 8.7, his worst is 6.5. Distance covered in miles, and the distance per 90 minutes. Like I say, in goals, shots, how many's on target, off target. Key passes, 25 key passes there, look. So passes, success rate, failed passes. So he's got 80% pass rate, is very good. Shooting 60%, not great. Tackles, so 25 tackles, 6 have been key tackles, look. 19 tackles won, 76% so that's great as well. Minutes on the pitch per goal, minutes per assist, interceptions, crosses completed, so that's total crosses, so 17 completed out of 81. So yeah, okay. Mistakes leading to goals, none. Penalties scored and penalties taken. So if we find somebody, maybe a defender. Have we had anybody make mistakes? There's got to be somebody, surely. There must be a player. Let me find someone. Well, funnily enough, all of our goals that we conceded haven't been from mistakes. So we'll gloss over that one for a minute. XG is the next one. So XG, this is one of those things that's been brought in by Football Manager this season, and Adam Lewis is performing above average in every area in key statistics for his attacking role. Produced a high number of key passes per 90 minutes compared to average. Attempts fewer dribbles per 90 minutes than average. So it says attacking, so this is how well he's been doing in his role that he's currently doing. So if we go to a defender, let's go actually have a proper defender. So it says they're defending now, so it will talk about all his defensive roles, and you can see that he is blue, the average is green, so he is performing absolutely exceptional in clearances, blocks and fouls. That's not really a great one for fouls, but tackles 1, so he's up there. Tackles attempted, he's sort of not in the average. Headers, doesn't win many headers by the look of it. Interceptions, he's not been great on that either. Have we got somebody again? Let's find someone who's sorting out that polygon, getting a great average. Here we go. Here's a player. He is a player as well. Josh Thomas. So he is blitzing the average in the championship. You can see the only one, headers 1, he's slightly down, but he is all over that polygon. So that's great news. We can see that he is really, really a top player for this division. And it's just great just to see this information. Just gives you a bit more insight into what the XG is all about, really. Training. So we've already got training down here. But again, it's just the same window really, but just on a bigger scale as down below in this part. Injury, slightly different to the injury we've got down below. This one gives you a bit more information. It says Alan Dawson would like to highlight that his currently training workload has caused a high risk of injury. So yeah, alright, could be injured due to low condition, but not a lot we can do about that, to be honest. We do, in fact he's down on half intensity, I don't know why he's done that. We do have double intensity on every save I do, and they do get injuries, but you know, if you want to develop your players, I recommend, highly recommend, double intensity every time. So match load heavy, so he's had 3 games in 14 days, he's played every minute, so it's quite a heavy match load for this player. Training load was light. Average injury susceptibility, so I don't know what they're going on about saying it's high. Fitness, he's tired after his last match, but he's fine really. Status, injury risk, there's an increased risk overall, but he's got no reoccurring injuries. And then over here is all the injuries he's had throughout his career, and the risk of injury is high. I think we've just played a game, that's probably why. Let me find someone who's got reoccurring injuries. If we have, we might not have somebody, but we'll have a look a minute. Okay, so here we go. So we have Jordan Rossiter, reoccurring torn calf muscle and torn ankle ligaments. So this just gives you an insight that you've got someone who's had a persistent problem with calf muscles and ankle ligaments. So he's got a reoccurring injury. So it's one of those players you might think, oh, should we really have him at the club? But yeah, he's all right. And then you've got the other side, if you've got a player who is injured. So Will Russ, who we started with, is actually injured. So in the physical status it says he's got a bruised ankle. The treatment is with the physio. He's expected to return in 1 to 2 days. Timeout so far, he's been out for 1 day, so that'll come up. And also you can see down here there is a little injury, shows you on the body there that it's the front of his bruised ankle. So it's around the front. If it was over this side it'd be on the back, but you can see it there. And down here also it gives you the information telling you when it happened. So again, great bit of information here. Hopefully this helps you out. Biography, a real in-depth information about the history of a particular player. So you've got the biography, the milestones and the career stats. So we can see that he didn't play a game for Chesterfield, didn't play a game for Leicester, but he's played 135 games for Truro, scoring 92 goals. So he really is a player who has banged in some goals for this club. And just in here, like I said, in the biography, just gives you a big insight into the player, tells you all of the bits and bobs about him, and obviously his milestones. So made his senior debut, scored his first senior goal. I'm sure that's not right. It says he played for Leicester against Rochdale. So obviously it wasn't a full game, so it must have been a friendly, I would say. So it says signed for Truro, scored his first goal. FA Trophy winners, league winners, promoted. So all the stuff that he's done with the club come up through from the Vanarama National South. Look at that. Did a real good job for us. And then career stats. So again, a little bit more information on his goal scoring prowess. You can see here the teams he's played for. So how many goals he scored, his average rating. Look at this, look. It's slowly gone down, then it went back up again. So he has had some great seasons for us. Particularly last season, look, 22 goals in League One. So he stepped it up. Didn't have so many in League Two. Had his worst season in League Two, but that's just one of those things. Players do have up and down seasons. And then down below, we can see how he's done this season. Games he's played, non-competitive, league football, cup football, continental, internationals, and then an overall. So there's all the information there. Again, it's a great part to the skin. You can also click on stats and give you a graph, which just sort of jumbles it in there. It's just tells you how many goals he scored and all, but it's more this. This is what we're looking at. This is the information we want. But that there is part 3 of the Skin Clinics profile for the players. I hope you've enjoyed that. I really do. They've been very popular so far. I've had so many comments now saying how great they've been to help players out. As in Football Manager players, not the real players. I'm sure some of them have seen them. Maybe Will Russ will have a look at this. You never know. But just like to say thank you to everybody who have been around so far. Get your friends and family involved. Please do subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to smash those like buttons and also get notified when we're back for part 4. part 4 of player profile. I think that'll be the last one. I think. We'll see. I'll catch you in the next one. And really, really big thank you from me. See you soon.